When should I leave? No one wants to be labeled a quitter. We pride ourselves on standing our ground, safeguarding what we cherish, and enduring until circumstances improve. But sometimes, we must confront the reality. Is it worth staying in this situation? The decision to leave isn't straightforward. It's a complex process influenced by our fears and emotional ties. In this video, we'll combine insights from Stoicism and modern economics to determine when it's time to stay and when it's time to go. Welcome to Stoic in Your Life, where we empower you to make life's toughest decisions with wisdom and resilience. 1. Stagnation and lack of growth. Stagnation and lack of growth are glaring indicators that it's time to move on from your current environment. Stoicism, a philosophy that emphasizes continual self-improvement and living a virtuous life, teaches us to be ever vigilant about our personal growth. If you find that your current situation no longer challenges you or contributes to your learning, it's a clear sign that you've outgrown it. Marcus Aurelius, a renowned Stoic philosopher, advocated for the relentless pursuit of excellence and self-betterment. He believed that remaining in a stagnant environment can stifle your potential and prevent you from reaching your full capabilities. In modern life, this can manifest in various forms, such as a job that no longer inspires or teaches you, a relationship that feels more like a burden than a partnership, or a living situation that does not align with your aspirations. The key is to remain self-aware and honest about your circumstances. As Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." This highlights the importance of courage in making necessary changes. Seeking opportunities that challenge you and push you out of your comfort zone is essential for growth. This might mean taking the leap to leave a job that has become monotonous, ending a relationship that no longer brings joy or growth, or moving to a new place that offers more opportunities for personal and professional development. The critical step is recognizing when you've outgrown your current circumstances and having the courage to seek new environments that foster your development. In today's fast-paced world, the fear of change can be paralyzing. However, embracing change is a vital part of growth. Just as a plant needs the right soil, sunlight, and water to flourish, you need an environment that nurtures your potential. By holding on to situations that no longer serve us, we risk becoming complacent and losing sight of our goals. It's crucial to remember that personal and professional growth often requires stepping into the unknown. Ultimately, the decision to leave a stagnant environment is a testament to your commitment to self-improvement and excellence. By continually seeking growth and embracing challenges, you honor the Stoic principle of living a virtuous and purposeful life. So if you find yourself in a situation where growth has ceased, take the brave step forward, seek new opportunities, and cultivate an environment that propels you toward your goals. 2. Constant stress and anxiety. Experiencing constant stress and anxiety is a strong signal that your current situation might not be right for you. According to Stoic philosophy, our goal should be to achieve tranquility and inner peace. When you're constantly stressed and anxious, it's a clear sign that your environment is sapping your energy and mental resources. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, emphasized the importance of maintaining a calm and composed mind. He believed that if something external is causing you undue stress, it's within your power to change your relationship with it or remove it altogether. Chronic stress is not just a minor inconvenience. It can lead to serious health issues, both mentally and physically. This is why it's crucial to evaluate the sources of your stress carefully. Ask yourself, are these stressors something you can manage and mitigate, or is it time to consider a more drastic change? Long-term exposure to stress can cause problems like high blood pressure, anxiety disorders, and even depression. It can also weaken your immune system, making you more susceptible to illnesses. Therefore, understanding the root causes of your stress is essential. Sometimes this might mean taking proactive steps, such as seeking out more supportive environments, engaging in activities that help relieve stress, and possibly making the tough decision to leave a toxic situation. Think about what Marcus Aurelius once said: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote reminds us that while we can't always control our surroundings, we do have control over how we respond to them. It's important to engage in practices that help manage and reduce stress. This might include mindfulness meditation, regular physical exercise, or even simply taking time to disconnect from stressful environments. Have you ever noticed how a simple walk in nature can drastically improve your mood? This is because engaging in stress relief activities can help to clear your mind and provide a fresh perspective on your situation. But sometimes these measures aren't enough, and the environment itself needs to be changed. Consider if the people around you contribute to your stress. Are they supportive and understanding, or do they add to your anxiety? Surrounding yourself with positive influences can make a significant difference. If you find that your environment is toxic and you're unable to change the people around you, it may be time to think about moving on. Leaving a stressful situation isn't a sign of weakness, but rather an act of self-preservation and wisdom. Remember the wisdom of Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, who said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This highlights the idea that our thoughts and perceptions can amplify our stress, making situations seem worse than they are. By changing our environment or our relationship to it, we can find the peace and tranquility that the Stoics cherished. So, what steps can you take today to start moving towards a less stressful, more fulfilling life? How can you begin to change your environment or your response to it in a way that aligns with the Stoic pursuit of inner peace? Reflect on these questions and take action towards creating a life that supports your well-being. 3. Misalignment with values. When your environment or situation misaligns with your core values, it's time to seriously consider making a change. Stoicism, a philosophy that emphasizes living in harmony with one's values and principles, teaches us the importance of staying true to ourselves. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher, believed that living in accordance with our values is essential for a fulfilling and meaningful life. If you find yourself in a situation where you have to compromise your beliefs or act against your principles, it's a clear indication that you might be in the wrong place. Let's think about it. How often do you find yourself doing something that doesn't feel right just to fit in or avoid conflict? Living in such a situation can lead to internal conflict, stress, and overall dissatisfaction. For instance, imagine working in a job where the company's practices go against your ethical standards. You might feel a constant tug-of-war inside, knowing that what you're doing daily doesn't align with who you are or what you believe in. This dissonance can affect your mental and emotional well-being, making it hard to find peace and happiness. To navigate this, it's crucial to identify what matters most to you. Reflect on your core values: honesty, integrity, compassion, or whatever they may be. Once you're clear on these, seek an environment that supports and aligns with them. This might mean making tough decisions like changing jobs, ending toxic relationships, or even relocating to a new place where you feel more at home with your beliefs. For example, a friend of mine recently left a high-paying corporate job because the company's values clashed with his own. He decided to start his own business that aligned with his vision of ethical and sustainable practices. The transition wasn't easy, but he found a deep sense of satisfaction and peace in living true to his values. It's not just about making big changes, though. Sometimes, small adjustments can have a significant impact. You might start by setting boundaries in your current situation, asserting your values more clearly and seeing if the environment can adapt to meet you halfway. But if it becomes evident that the core misalignment remains, it might be time to consider a more substantial change. Ask yourself, what are the non-negotiables in my life? What values am I unwilling to compromise on? By addressing these questions, you can gain clarity on the necessary steps to take. This self-awareness is powerful. It empowers you to create a life that truly reflects who you are. Consider a story from modern life to illustrate this point. There's a popular tale of a woman named Sarah who worked in the fast-paced world of finance. She was successful by all external measures, but felt a deep sense of unease because her job required her to engage in practices she felt were unethical. After much soul-searching, she decided to leave her lucrative position to work for a nonprofit organization that aligned with her values of helping others and making a positive impact. The transition was challenging, but she found immense fulfillment in her new role, knowing she was living in alignment with her principles. So, what can you take away from this? The lesson here is that living in alignment with your values is crucial for your inner peace and overall well-being. It might require courage and significant changes, but the rewards of living authentically are immense. Reflect on your current situation and ask yourself, are my values being honored here? Am I living in a way that feels true to who I am? By answering these questions honestly, you can make informed decisions that lead to a more fulfilling and harmonious life. When faced with an environment or situation that forces you to compromise your values, it's essential to consider leaving. Staying true to your core principles is not just a philosophical ideal. It's a practical approach to achieving a meaningful and satisfying life. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, living in accordance with our values is key to inner peace and fulfillment. Embrace the courage to make changes that reflect your true self, and you'll find that living authentically brings a deeper sense of happiness and contentment. If you've watched up to this point, you're already taking a crucial step towards understanding when it's time to move on. Comment below with "ready to leave" to affirm your commitment to recognizing and acting on these vital signs. Don't go anywhere. There's still invaluable insight we want to share with you in this video. Stay until the end to discover the key lessons that will empower you to make the best decisions for your life. 4. No alignment with personal goals. When your current environment does not align with your personal goals and aspirations, it's a clear sign that you should consider leaving. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This profound Stoic wisdom emphasizes the importance of overcoming obstacles to achieve personal growth. However, if your surroundings constantly clash with your aspirations, they become a significant hindrance rather than a source of support. Achieving your goals requires an environment that nurtures and aligns with your vision. For instance, if you aspire to advance in your career but find yourself in a toxic workplace that stifles your creativity and ambition, it's time to reassess your situation. A supportive environment acts as a catalyst for your success, enabling you to thrive and reach your full potential. Stoicism teaches the importance of staying true to your path and seeking situations that facilitate your growth and success. Seneca's wisdom, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity," reminds us that creating the right conditions for our aspirations is not about waiting for the perfect moment, but actively shaping our environment to foster our goals. Therefore, it's crucial to evaluate your current situation regularly. Are your personal and professional goals being supported or hindered by your surroundings? For example, if you're an aspiring entrepreneur surrounded by naysayers who undermine your ideas, you're less likely to take the necessary risks to succeed. Instead, seek out communities or networks that encourage your entrepreneurial spirit and offer constructive feedback. A crucial part of this evaluation involves introspection and honesty. Reflect on whether your current environment provides the resources, encouragement, and inspiration you need to progress. Epictetus wisely noted, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This involves making tough decisions about the people, places, and situations you engage with daily. Suppose you're pursuing a healthy lifestyle, but your social circle encourages unhealthy habits. In that case, it's essential to distance yourself from those influences and find like-minded individuals who share your commitment to well-being. Modern life often bombards us with distractions and pressures that can lead us astray from our true goals. However, aligning your environment with your aspirations isn't just about physical spaces. It's also about the mental and emotional environments you cultivate. If your current job, relationships, or daily routines don't resonate with your values and long-term objectives, it's time to make a change. This might mean seeking new opportunities, investing in personal development, or even relocating to a place that better suits your ambitions. In summary, staying true to your personal goals and values is a core tenet of Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic thinkers advocate for creating and maintaining environments that support your journey towards growth and success. By regularly evaluating your surroundings and making necessary adjustments, you ensure that your path remains clear and conducive to achieving your aspirations. 5. Feeling undervalued. Feeling undervalued in your current environment is a clear and significant sign that it's time to consider moving on. Stoic philosophy, especially as articulated by Marcus Aurelius, emphasizes the importance of recognizing one's intrinsic worth and the value of one's contributions. When your efforts and talents go unappreciated or unacknowledged, it can lead to a sense of frustration and a decrease in motivation, ultimately impacting your well-being and productivity. Everyone deserves to be in an environment where their value is recognized and respected. As Epictetus once said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." This means understanding and acknowledging your intrinsic worth and seeking environments that align with that understanding. Imagine working hard, consistently giving your best, only to have your efforts met with indifference or neglect. This lack of recognition can be incredibly demoralizing. How long should you endure such a situation? Reflect on this. Is it truly fulfilling to remain in a place where you are not valued? The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control: our actions, our thoughts, and our responses. If your current environment is not conducive to your growth and well-being, it is within your control to seek out a place where you're appreciated. Consider the words of Seneca, who said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Part of learning how to live is recognizing when a situation is no longer serving your best interests. By staying in an environment where you feel undervalued, you're not only limiting your potential but also allowing yourself to be subjected to unnecessary negativity. What steps can you take today to move towards an environment where you are valued? This question encourages introspection and action, pushing you to think critically about your current situation and what changes you need to make. The process of leaving an undervalued situation can be challenging and daunting, but it is essential for your personal and professional growth. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If you constantly dwell in an environment where you feel undervalued, your thoughts and self-perception may become negatively affected. Instead, aim to surround yourself with positivity and recognition, which will nurture your soul and encourage your growth. By seeking out environments where your contributions are appreciated, you open yourself up to new opportunities for growth and success. These new environments can provide the support and recognition you need to thrive, enhancing your motivation and overall satisfaction. Have you ever experienced a situation where your efforts were finally recognized? How did that change your outlook and performance? Reflecting on such experiences can help you understand the importance of feeling valued and respected. Ultimately, feeling undervalued is not something you should tolerate. It's a sign that it's time for a change that aligns with the Stoic principle of seeking virtue and living in accordance with nature. Your worth is not diminished by others' failure to recognize it. Instead, take control of your situation, understand your value, and seek out environments where you can truly flourish. As you ponder on this, ask yourself, what steps can I take today to ensure that I am in an environment where I am valued and appreciated? This reflection can be the first step toward making meaningful and positive changes in your life. 6. Toxic relationships. Toxic relationships are a significant indicator that it's time to leave your current environment. Stoicism teaches us the value of surrounding ourselves with virtuous individuals who positively contribute to our lives. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts," emphasizing the importance of not allowing negative influences to corrupt our character and peace of mind. If you find yourself in a situation where relationships are filled with negativity, manipulation, or abuse, it's essential to recognize the detrimental impact these interactions have on your well-being. Toxic relationships drain your energy, erode your self-worth, and can lead to severe emotional and mental health issues. Consider the story of Jane, a young professional who moved to a new city for her dream job. Excited about her new life, she quickly made friends and started dating someone she met at work. Initially, everything seemed perfect, but over time, Jane noticed subtle changes. Her partner became increasingly controlling, criticizing her choices and isolating her from friends. Jane's self-esteem plummeted, and she began to feel trapped in a cycle of emotional manipulation and negativity. Despite her achievements at work, her personal life was in turmoil. Jane remembered reading about Stoicism and the importance of maintaining inner peace. With this in mind, Jane took a step back to assess her situation. She realized that her partner's behavior was toxic, and that staying in this relationship was damaging her mental and emotional health. Determined to reclaim her happiness, Jane decided to leave the relationship and surround herself with positive, supportive people. Leaving a toxic relationship is never easy, but it is a vital step toward protecting your inner peace and well-being. It's important to set clear boundaries and prioritize your mental and emotional health. By seeking out positive and supportive relationships, you create a healthier and more fulfilling environment for yourself. Think about your own relationships. Are there people who consistently bring negativity into your life? How do they impact your mental and emotional state? These are important questions to consider as you evaluate your current environment. Imagine the freedom and relief you would feel by removing yourself from these toxic influences. It's not just about escaping negativity. It's about creating space for positivity and growth. When you surround yourself with people who uplift and support you, your life becomes richer and more meaningful. You'll find that your energy is replenished, your self-worth is restored, and your overall well-being improves. Stoicism reminds us that we have the power to choose our associations and environments. By eliminating toxic relationships, you take control of your thoughts and, consequently, your happiness. This act of self-preservation is not selfish, but necessary for your growth and fulfillment. In summary, recognizing and leaving toxic relationships is a crucial step in maintaining your inner peace and overall well-being. Reflect on the impact these relationships have on your life, and take decisive action to protect yourself. By doing so, you embrace the Stoic principle of prioritizing your mental and emotional health, leading to a more fulfilling and happy life. If you've reached this point and are still engaged, kindly take a moment to pause and comment below with, "I know when to leave." This simple act will indicate that you understand the importance of recognizing when it's time to move on from situations that no longer serve you. Now, let's continue on this journey together, embracing the wisdom of the Stoics to make thoughtful, intentional decisions in our lives. 7. Absence of support. Absence of support in your environment is a clear indication that it might be time to move on. According to Stoic philosophy, community and mutual support are essential for a fulfilling life. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, emphasized the interconnectedness of humanity and the importance of supporting each other. He famously said, "We are made for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids, like the rows of the upper and lower teeth." This underscores the idea that humans thrive through mutual support and collaboration. When you find yourself in an environment where you feel isolated or unsupported, it can significantly impact your well-being and personal growth. Supportive relationships are not just beneficial, but crucial for overcoming challenges and achieving personal goals. Without a supportive network, motivation and encouragement can wane, leading to stagnation and dissatisfaction. In modern life, this can manifest in various ways, such as a toxic workplace where colleagues are more competitive than collaborative, or a social circle that fails to uplift you during tough times. Therefore, it is essential to seek out environments where you can both find and give support, fostering a sense of community and mutual growth. A healthy environment will not only provide you with the encouragement you need, but also offer you opportunities to support others, creating a positive cycle of growth and fulfillment. Thriving often depends on the support and encouragement we receive from others. This idea is echoed in the words of Epictetus. No man is an island. This quote serves as a reminder that isolation can be detrimental, and our strength often comes from our connections with others. So if you find yourself in a place where support is lacking, it might be the universe nudging you to seek a community that values and uplifts you. Recognizing the absence of support in your current environment is a crucial step in determining whether it's time to move on. The Stoic wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus teaches us that our well-being is deeply connected to the support we receive from our community. By seeking environments where mutual support is a cornerstone, you can ensure that you are surrounded by people who inspire and motivate you, leading to a more fulfilling and resilient life. 8. Lack of purpose and fulfillment. A lack of purpose and fulfillment is a significant sign that it's time to consider leaving your current situation. Stoicism teaches us that living a life of purpose and meaning is essential for our overall well-being and happiness. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, often reflected on the importance of living in alignment with one's purpose. He believed that each of us has a unique role to play, and that true fulfillment comes from engaging in meaningful activities that contribute to the greater good. When you find yourself in a situation that lacks purpose or fails to fulfill you, it can lead to feelings of emptiness and dissatisfaction. This might be evident in a job that feels monotonous and unchallenging, relationships that don't nurture your soul, or daily routines that lack inspiration. The absence of purpose can drain your motivation and energy, making it difficult to find joy in your everyday life. To identify whether you're experiencing a lack of purpose, reflect on your daily activities and ask yourself, do I feel energized and passionate about what I'm doing? Does my current situation align with my long-term goals and values? If the answer is no, it's a clear indication that change is needed. Consider the Stoic practice of journaling, which can help you gain clarity on your purpose and what brings you fulfillment. By regularly reflecting on your thoughts and actions, you can identify patterns and areas where you feel most alive and engaged. This self-awareness is the first step in making meaningful changes. Sometimes finding purpose might involve making significant life changes, such as switching careers, ending unfulfilling relationships, or moving to a new location. These decisions can be daunting, but they are necessary for aligning your life with your true purpose. As Seneca wisely said, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." This reminds us that the quality of our lives is more important than the length, and living with purpose is a key component of a good life. In modern times, many people find themselves stuck in situations due to societal pressures or fear of the unknown. However, embracing the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control can empower you to make changes that lead to a more fulfilling life. Recognize that you have the power to shape your destiny by seeking out environments and activities that resonate with your sense of purpose. For example, a friend of mine who was once an engineer realized that his true passion lay in teaching and mentoring others. Despite the challenges and uncertainties, he decided to leave his well-paying job and pursue a career in education. This transition wasn't easy, but it brought him immense fulfillment and a renewed sense of purpose. So, how can you start aligning your life with your purpose today? Begin by identifying activities that make you feel truly alive and engaged. Seek out opportunities that allow you to use your strengths and passions in ways that benefit others. Surround yourself with people who inspire and support your journey. In conclusion, living a life of purpose and fulfillment is essential for your well-being and happiness. If your current environment lacks these elements, it's time to consider making a change. Embrace the wisdom of the Stoics and take proactive steps to align your life with your true purpose. By doing so, you will cultivate a more meaningful and satisfying existence. 9. Unfulfilled potential. One of the most compelling reasons to leave a current situation is the feeling of unfulfilled potential. When you sense that your abilities, talents, and passions are not being utilized to their fullest, it's a clear sign that it might be time to move on. Stoicism, with its focus on personal growth and excellence, teaches us to strive towards our highest potential and not settle for mediocrity. Marcus Aurelius, a key figure in Stoic philosophy, often reflected on the importance of making the most of one's talents and opportunities. He believed that every individual has a unique role and purpose, and fulfilling that purpose is essential for a meaningful life. If you find that your current environment is not conducive to maximizing your potential, it's time to reevaluate your circumstances. Consider your current situation. Are you challenged and inspired by what you do? Do you feel that your skills and talents are being recognized and utilized? If not, you might be in a place that is holding you back from achieving greatness. This could be evident in a job that doesn't offer growth opportunities, relationships that don't support your ambitions, or a daily routine that doesn't allow for creative expression. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." This quote serves as a reminder that our time is precious, and spending it in situations where our potential is stifled is a disservice to ourselves. Identifying where your potential is being underutilized is the first step toward making a change. To start addressing this issue, reflect on what truly excites and motivates you. What are your passions and talents, and how can you find environments that allow these to flourish? This might mean seeking out new job opportunities that challenge you, pursuing further education, or finding mentors who can help you grow. For example, imagine someone who has a deep passion for art but is stuck in a monotonous administrative job. Despite having a secure job, they feel unfulfilled and yearn to explore their artistic talents. By taking steps to pursue their passion, whether through part-time classes, starting a side project, or even switching careers, they can begin to fulfill their potential and find greater satisfaction. The Stoic approach encourages us to take control of our circumstances and actively seek out opportunities that align with our abilities and aspirations. It's about being honest with yourself about where you are and where you want to be, and then taking the necessary steps to bridge that gap. In summary, feeling that your potential is unfulfilled is a strong indicator that it's time to consider a change. Embrace the wisdom of Stoicism by recognizing your unique talents and seeking out environments that allow you to maximize them. By doing so, you not only honor your own capabilities, but also contribute more meaningfully to the world around you. As you reflect on your current situation, ask yourself, are my talents and passions being fully utilized? What changes can I make to ensure that I am living up to my potential? By addressing these questions, you can take proactive steps toward creating a life that truly reflects your abilities and aspirations. If you've made it this far, you're a champion of self-awareness. Drop a comment saying, "I choose growth," to show you're ready to embrace change. Stay tuned. The journey to a better you is just beginning. 10. Persistent negativity and toxicity. Persistent negativity and toxicity in your environment are clear signs that it might be time to leave. Stoicism teaches us the importance of maintaining a healthy and positive mindset, and being surrounded by constant negativity can severely impact your mental and emotional well-being. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of surrounding oneself with positive influences and avoiding those who bring negativity into our lives. He believed that our environment plays a crucial role in shaping our thoughts and behaviors. When you find yourself constantly surrounded by negativity, it can be incredibly draining and demoralizing. This negativity might come from toxic relationships, a hostile work environment, or a living situation that constantly brings you down. The impact of such an environment can be profound, leading to increased stress, anxiety, and a sense of hopelessness. To identify if you're in a persistently negative environment, reflect on how you feel after interacting with certain people or spending time in specific places. Do you feel drained, stressed, or anxious? Are these feelings a regular occurrence? If so, it's a clear indication that the environment is negatively affecting you. Stoic philosophy encourages us to focus on what we can control and to distance ourselves from what harms our inner peace. As Epictetus wisely said, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. This quote reminds us of the importance of being selective about the people and environments we engage with. Sometimes leaving a toxic environment requires making difficult decisions, such as ending toxic relationships, quitting a hostile job, or moving away from a negative living situation. These decisions can be challenging, but they are necessary for preserving your mental and emotional health. The Stoics teach us that protecting our inner peace is paramount, and sometimes that means making tough choices to remove ourselves from toxic influences. Consider the story of John, a talented graphic designer who worked in a high-pressure corporate job. Despite his love for design, the constant negativity from his boss and colleagues made his work environment unbearable. John's mental health began to suffer, and he found himself dreading each workday. After much reflection, he decided to leave his job and start his own freelance design business. The transition was difficult, but John found immense relief and happiness in working for himself and choosing clients who appreciated his work. So, how can you start moving away from persistent negativity today? Begin by setting boundaries with negative individuals and limiting your exposure to toxic environments. Seek out positive influences, whether through supportive friends, uplifting activities, or new opportunities that align with your values and passions. Surround yourself with people who inspire and uplift you, and make a conscious effort to cultivate positivity in your life. In conclusion, persistent negativity and toxicity are detrimental to your well-being and can hinder your personal growth. If you find yourself in such an environment, it's essential to take proactive steps to protect your inner peace and happiness. Embrace the wisdom of the Stoics by distancing yourself from negative influences and seeking out positive, supportive environments. By doing so, you will create a healthier, more fulfilling life that allows you to thrive. 11. Emotional and physical exhaustion. Emotional and physical exhaustion is a significant indicator that it's time to consider leaving your current situation. When you find yourself constantly drained, both mentally and physically, it's a clear sign that your environment is taking more from you than it's giving. Stoicism teaches us the importance of maintaining balance and well-being, and enduring constant exhaustion is contrary to living a virtuous and purposeful life. Marcus Aurelius, a renowned Stoic philosopher, emphasized the need to preserve our mental and physical health. He believed that taking care of oneself is crucial for living a productive and meaningful life. If you're perpetually exhausted, it's a sign that your current environment is unsustainable and detrimental to your overall well-being. Reflect on your daily life. Do you wake up feeling tired despite getting enough sleep? Do you find yourself lacking energy and motivation? If the answer is yes, it's time to evaluate what is causing this exhaustion. It might be a demanding job with unrealistic expectations, relationships that drain your emotional energy, or a lifestyle that doesn't allow for adequate rest and self-care. Seneca, another influential Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This highlights that sometimes our thoughts and perceptions can amplify our stress and exhaustion. However, when physical and emotional exhaustion is persistent, it's a clear signal that changes are necessary. To address this issue, start by identifying the primary sources of your exhaustion. Are you overworked? Are your personal relationships causing emotional strain? Is your lifestyle lacking balance and self-care? Once you pinpoint the causes, consider what changes you can make to alleviate this exhaustion. For example, if your job is the main source of stress and exhaustion, it might be time to discuss your workload with your employer, seek a different role within the company, or even look for a new job that offers better work-life balance. If your personal relationships are draining, set boundaries to protect your emotional energy and seek support from friends or a therapist. A friend of mine was in a similar situation. She was a dedicated nurse, working long hours in a high-stress environment. Despite her passion for helping others, she found herself emotionally and physically exhausted every day. After much reflection, she decided to transition into a less demanding healthcare role that allowed her to maintain her well-being while still making a positive impact. The change was challenging, but it ultimately restored her energy and joy for life. The Stoic approach encourages us to take control of our lives and make proactive changes that support our well-being. It's about recognizing when enough is enough and having the courage to make necessary adjustments to protect our health. Emotional and physical exhaustion is a powerful sign that it's time to leave your current environment. Embrace the wisdom of Stoicism by prioritizing your well-being and making changes that restore your energy and balance. By doing so, you will create a healthier, more fulfilling life that allows you to thrive. 12. Imbalance in giving and receiving. An imbalance in giving and receiving is a clear signal that it might be time to leave your current situation. When you consistently find yourself giving more than you receive, whether it's in a professional setting, a personal relationship, or a social circle, it can lead to feelings of resentment, exhaustion, and burnout. Stoicism teaches us the importance of maintaining balance and harmony in all aspects of life, and this includes the equilibrium between giving and receiving. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the value of fairness and reciprocity. He believed that healthy relationships and environments should nurture mutual support and benefit. When you give endlessly without receiving adequate support or recognition in return, it disrupts this balance and negatively impacts your well-being. Reflect on your current environment. Do you feel that your efforts are acknowledged and reciprocated? Are your contributions met with appreciation and support? If the answer is no, it's a strong indication that the balance between giving and receiving is off. This imbalance can manifest in various ways, such as a job where your hard work is taken for granted, a relationship where you feel unappreciated, or a social group that relies on you without offering support in return. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, once said, "He who is brave is free." This quote reminds us that bravery includes the courage to recognize when a situation is not serving us and to take action to change it. Identifying and addressing the imbalance in your life requires such bravery. To address this issue, start by evaluating the areas where you feel the imbalance most acutely. Are you overextending yourself at work without recognition? Are you the one always making an effort in your personal relationships without receiving the same in return? Once you identify these areas, consider what changes you can make to restore balance. For example, if you're in a job where your contributions are undervalued, it might be time to have a conversation with your supervisor about your role and recognition. If there's no improvement, It might be necessary to seek opportunities elsewhere where your efforts will be appreciated and reciprocated. In personal relationships, setting boundaries is crucial. Communicate your needs and expectations clearly, and if they continue to be unmet, it might be time to reassess the relationship. Healthy relationships should be mutually beneficial, where both parties feel valued and supported. A friend of mine experienced a similar situation in her volunteer work. She loved helping others but found herself overwhelmed by the constant demands placed on her without any support or appreciation. After much reflection, she decided to step back and find volunteer opportunities that were more organized and supportive. This change allowed her to continue her passion for helping others while maintaining a healthy balance between giving and receiving. The Stoic approach encourages us to seek balance and fairness in our interactions. It's about recognizing when we are giving too much without receiving in return, and taking steps to correct this imbalance for our well-being. In conclusion, an imbalance in giving and receiving is a strong indicator that it's time to consider leaving your current environment. Embrace the wisdom of Stoicism by seeking balance and reciprocity in all areas of your life. By doing so, you will create healthier and more fulfilling relationships and environments. Thank you for being part of today's video. Before we wrap up, I want to thank you for your participation in our community. Feel free to share your thoughts on knowing when it's time to leave a situation, or simply comment, "I'm new here," if you're just joining us, or "I'm a Stoic," if you've been with us for a while. Your interaction is a great source of motivation for us. Let's continue this journey together, shall we? The reason it's hard for us to leaving behind relationships, jobs, or familiar environments can be one of the most challenging decisions we face in life. It's not just the act of moving on that makes it difficult, but the underlying emotional, psychological, and social factors that tie us to our current circumstances. From the struggle of moving on, and the grip of attachment to the fear of the unknown, and the powerful sunk cost fallacy, our decisions are often influenced by complex internal and external pressures. Additionally, the potential loss of identity and the weight of social and cultural expectations further complicate our ability to make changes. By understanding these barriers, we can begin to navigate the path to freedom and personal growth, ultimately reclaiming our ability to shape our own destinies. 1. Struggle of moving on. Moving on from a relationship or situation often feels incredibly difficult, not because it shows weakness, but because it demonstrates your great strength and independence. The act of choosing to step away reveals a latent power within us, a strength often obscured by the comfort of familiarity. This act, while fraught with challenges, ultimately teaches us about our capacity to make independent decisions even amidst uncertainty. The most significant hurdle in this journey is the emotional entanglement with people and situations deeply embedded in our lives. These bonds, fortified by shared experiences and profound feelings, create an almost invisible barrier, transforming what seems like a logical decision into an emotional struggle. Upon closer reflection, it becomes evident that those who benefit from our presence can resist our departure actively. This resistance isn't passive, it's a deliberate attempt to exert influence. Individuals and circumstances relying on our constancy might consciously or subconsciously manipulate our sense of guilt or duty, making us question our right to self-determination. In these moments, saying goodbye feels like entering a battlefield where the desire for independence clashes with the forces of emotional dependency. The decision to move on, therefore, is not just a leap towards new beginnings, but a powerful reaffirmation of our identity and freedom. In this context, moving on is an act of courage that challenges societal expectations and redefines power dynamics. This pivotal moment is crucial for personal growth and constructing a future where we are the true architects of our destiny. By choosing to leave behind what no longer serves us, we make room for our own happiness and growth. In modern life, this decision is akin to shedding old skin, allowing us to evolve and thrive. It's an act of self-love and respect, acknowledging that our journey is worth more than the comfort of stagnation. For anyone struggling with the notion of moving on, remember that it's a testament to your strength, not a flaw in your character. Embrace the uncertainty with the knowledge that you have the power to shape your future, free from the constraints of the past. Part 2. Attachment and fear of loss. Attachment in its various forms is one of the most challenging barriers on the path to liberation. Emotional ties to objects, people, ideas, or memories create deep roots that hinder our ability to move on. As we explore this phenomenon, we realize how the human mind is inclined to create connections that, despite often being irrational, become sources of comfort and identity. Take, for example, the desire for a new car. Before we even own it, our imagination constructs a series of expectations and emotional associations. The car is no longer just a means of transportation. It becomes a symbol of status, freedom, or personal fulfillment. This emotional anticipation creates an attachment that makes us feel the loss even before experiencing ownership. This process highlights how we project our desires and identity onto objects, endowing them with deep and sometimes exaggerated meanings. The same attachment mechanism applies even more complexly to human relationships, especially those that prove toxic. In such relationships, the fear of losing something desired or familiar keeps us bound, even when we face mistreatment. The comfort of the familiar, even if harmful, often outweighs the fear of the unknown. Here, attachment functions as an emotional trap, entangling us in a cycle of dependency and suffering. The fear of loss manifests not only as a reaction to the absence of the object of attachment, but also as a resistance to abandoning a part of ourselves that we believe is tied to what we cling to. This fear is exacerbated by insecurity and the belief that without the object or person of attachment, we will lose an essential portion of our identity or happiness. Thus, attachment becomes a formidable obstacle to freedom and personal growth. Breaking free from attachment is not just a matter of material detachment, but a profound emotional and mental reconfiguration. It requires introspective courage to confront the void left by absence and a belief in the ability to fill that space with new experiences and healthier relationships. Reflect on the words of the philosopher Epictetus, who said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This wisdom suggests that true freedom comes from within, and that letting go of attachments can lead to a richer, more fulfilling life. So, how can we begin to detach ourselves from these deep-seated attachments? What steps can we take to embrace a life of freedom and growth? Consider the potential of new, healthier relationships that can fill the void left by toxic ones. Envision the strength and resilience you can build by facing your fears and moving forward without the crutch of harmful attachments. Engage with these ideas and ask yourself, what is it that you truly value? What are you holding on to that no longer serves you? By addressing these questions, you open the door to personal growth and the possibility of living a life unburdened by unnecessary attachments. As you ponder these thoughts, remember that the journey to liberation is a process, one that requires patience, courage, and the willingness to let go of what holds you back. By doing so, you pave the way for a future filled with potential, freedom, and true contentment. 3. The fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown is one of the most insidious obstacles that can prevent us from distancing ourselves from harmful situations. The uncertainty about what follows after we leave, and whether the new circumstances will be better or worse, can have a paralyzing effect. This fear is a powerful force that keeps us stuck in unsatisfactory jobs or toxic relationships, even when our desire to escape is palpable. When faced with the possibility of change, the human mind tends to seek the security of the familiar, and this search is intensified by the inherent uncertainty of the unknown. What lies beyond the present state is uncharted territory, full of possibilities that can either improve or worsen the current situation. This duality creates profound hesitation and emotional resistance, preventing us from taking decisive steps towards the unknown. Consider unsatisfactory work environments as an example. The fear of the unknown manifests through anxiety about financial stability, social environment, and the ability to find a position that better aligns with our aspirations and skills. The relative security of the current job offers a false sense of control that is difficult to abandon. The prospect of seeking something new, facing interviews, learning new skills, and adapting to a new organizational culture can seem overwhelming. Similarly, in harmful relationships, uncertainty about life after separation acts as a significant barrier. The fear of being alone, facing social judgments, and rebuilding an identity independent of the toxic relationship creates a powerful aversion to change. The familiarity of suffering, paradoxical as it may seem, can be less terrifying than the uncertainty of freedom. Exploring the fear of the unknown reveals the complexity of human emotions and how these emotions shape our decisions. Uncertainty is not just an emptiness to be filled, but a mirror that reflects our worst fears and insecurities. Facing this fear requires more than courage. It demands a reassessment of our beliefs and a renewed confidence in our ability to navigate the unknown. Overcoming the fear of the unknown is essentially a process of strengthening self-confidence. It is an invitation to embrace uncertainty as an inevitable part of life, and to recognize that growth and fulfillment often lie beyond the bounds of the known. By accepting uncertainty, we open doors to new opportunities and experiences that, though uncertain, have the potential to transform our lives in profound and positive ways. Let's bring this into the context of modern life. Imagine someone in a corporate job that stifles their creativity and passion. Every day, they dream of starting their own business, but are paralyzed by the fear of financial instability, failure, and the unknown challenges of entrepreneurship. This fear keeps them in a cycle of dissatisfaction and unfulfilled potential. However, those who have taken the leap often discover that the journey, while fraught with uncertainties, also brings a sense of freedom, growth, and achievement that was previously unimaginable. What would you do if you weren't afraid of the unknown? How might your life change if you embraced uncertainty with hope and courage? To break free from the paralyzing grip of the unknown, we must reframe our mindset. Instead of viewing uncertainty as a threat, we should see it as a canvas for possibilities. True security does not lie in avoiding change, but in cultivating the resilience to thrive in any situation. As the Roman philosopher Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This insight urges us to confront our fears with a rational mind and a courageous heart. In conclusion, the script of our destiny should not be written with the ink of fear, but with strokes of hope and courage. Abandoning the known, despite its illusory comforts, and venturing into the unknown is a journey of self-discovery and emancipation. Through this journey, we discover that true security lies not in stagnation, but in the ability to adapt and thrive in any circumstance. By embracing the fear of the unknown, we pave the way for a life filled with growth, opportunity, and fulfillment. So, take that step into the unknown and trust that your resilience and adaptability will guide you to new and rewarding experiences. What are you waiting for? The journey towards your best self begins with the courage to face the unknown. If you've reached this point and are still engaged, kindly take a moment to pause and comment below with, "It's time to move on." This simple act will indicate that you understand the importance of recognizing when it's time to leave situations that no longer serve you. Now, let's continue on this journey together, embracing the wisdom of the Stoics to lead more balanced, fulfilling lives. 4. The sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy is a powerful psychological phenomenon that explains why so many people remain in detrimental situations, even when the costs clearly outweigh the benefits. This fallacy traps us in the past, causing investments of time, effort, and resources to lead us down a path that continues to harm us. Understanding and overcoming this fallacy is essential for making healthier decisions based on the present and the future. The sunk cost fallacy occurs when we continue to invest in an unsatisfactory situation because of what we have already invested, instead of considering current and future benefits and costs. Essentially, we are trying to recover something that has already been lost, ignoring the reality that these past investments cannot be regained. This way of thinking leads us to persist in failed relationships, unsatisfactory jobs, and other commitments, hoping that our previous investments justify their continuation. In the words of Seneca, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This quote highlights the need to let go of past investments and focus on what truly adds value to our lives now. Take a failed marriage as an example. Many couples stay together despite ongoing conflicts and unhappiness due to the time and energy invested in the relationship. Years of shared life, combined financial resources, and emotional efforts create a sense of obligation and hope that things will improve. However, this past investment should not be the basis for future decisions. Remaining in a harmful marriage can cause emotional and psychological damage that outweighs any perceived benefit of saving what has been invested. Consider the advice of Epictetus. It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. This emphasizes the importance of recognizing when an investment is no longer beneficial and having the courage to change course. In modern life, this means assessing our current situation based on its present value and future potential rather than past efforts. Whether it's a toxic relationship, an unfulfilling job, or any other commitment that no longer serves us, we must prioritize our well-being and growth over the fear of losing what we've invested. To move forward, it's crucial to acknowledge the reality of our situation and make decisions that align with our long-term happiness and goals. This might involve difficult choices and letting go of the familiar, but it is through these decisions that we can create a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Remember, the sunk cost fallacy is just that, a fallacy. It's a mental trap that we can overcome with awareness and a commitment to living in the present, guided by the wisdom of Stoic philosophy. By doing so, we free ourselves from the chains of past investments and open the door to new opportunities and growth. As we navigate these decisions, let's keep in mind the words of Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By recognizing the sunk cost fallacy and its impact on our lives, we can make more informed and healthier choices, ultimately leading to a more balanced and satisfying existence. So ask yourself, are you holding on to something that no longer serves you simply because of what you've already put in? If so, it might be time to let go and embrace a future filled with new possibilities and genuine fulfillment. 5. Loss of identity. Leaving a situation, relationship, or environment is often a daunting task because it can lead to a profound loss of identity. This happens because many of us define ourselves by the people we associate with, the work we do, and the places we inhabit. When we leave these behind, it can feel as though we are abandoning a significant part of who we are. This identity crisis forces us to reevaluate our sense of self and our core values, which can be an overwhelming and challenging process. Renowned psychologist Erik Erikson said, "In the social jungle of human existence, there is no feeling of being alive without a sense of identity." This highlights how integral our sense of identity is to our overall well-being. The prospect of change often compels us to face our deepest fears and insecurities. When our identity is intertwined with external factors, letting go can evoke a sense of fear and uncertainty about the future. You might wonder, who am I without this relationship, this job, or this place? Such questions can trigger a deep internal struggle as we grapple with redefining ourselves. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely noted, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This perspective encourages us to focus on our inner strength and resilience rather than external circumstances. Moreover, the loss of identity can lead to a period of mourning for the person we once were. It's common to experience feelings of grief and nostalgia as we let go of familiar roles and routines. This transition period, though painful, is also a time for significant personal growth and self-discovery. The philosopher Socrates famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." This quote urges us to embrace the process of self-examination that accompanies the loss of identity, as it can lead to a deeper understanding of ourselves. An open-ended question to consider during this transformative period is, what aspects of your identity are truly intrinsic to you, and what are merely reflections of your external circumstances? Reflecting on this can help you discern between what is essential and what is transient. It is also a reminder that while external elements can shape our identity, our true essence lies within. Transitioning from a place of security and familiarity to the unknown requires courage. It involves not just the loss of identity, but the opportunity to reconstruct it in a way that aligns more authentically with our true selves. As the poet Rainer Maria Rilke once said, "The only journey is the one within." This journey within is about shedding old layers and embracing new possibilities. In this journey, it's important to remember that you have the power to shape your identity based on your values, beliefs, and aspirations. Instead of viewing the loss of identity as purely negative, see it as a chance to redefine yourself in a way that is more aligned with who you truly want to be. This process of redefining oneself is not instantaneous. It requires patience, reflection, and a willingness to embrace uncertainty. In conclusion, the reason it is hard for us to leave is deeply rooted in the loss of identity we experience. However, by facing this challenge head-on and embracing the opportunity for self-redefinition, we can emerge stronger and more aligned with our true selves. Reflect on the wisdom of the Stoics and other philosophers as you embark on this journey, and remember that every ending is also a new beginning. How will you choose to redefine your identity in this new chapter of your life? 6. Social and cultural pressures. Social and cultural pressures significantly contribute to the difficulty of leaving, whether it's a relationship, a job, or a community. These pressures often come from our family, friends, and society at large, creating an invisible cage of expectations that can feel impossible to escape. Imagine being in a situation where the mere thought of leaving brings about an overwhelming sense of guilt and obligation. You might worry about the judgment you'll face, the disappointment of loved ones, or the potential fallout from your decision. These fears can be paralyzing, trapping us in circumstances that are detrimental to our well-being. This is a common human experience, and it's something that many of us struggle with daily. Let's consider the story of Sarah, a young professional working in a prestigious law firm. Despite her impressive career trajectory, Sarah is unhappy. The long hours, high stress, and lack of personal fulfillment have taken a toll on her mental and physical health. However, the societal expectation to succeed and the pressure from her family, who are proud of her achievements, make the idea of leaving seem impossible. Sarah fears being labeled a quitter or facing disappointment from those who see her as a beacon of success. This pressure traps her in a cycle of dissatisfaction and stress, affecting her overall well-being. Reflecting on this, have you ever found yourself in a similar situation where external pressures kept you from making a change you knew was necessary for your happiness? It's crucial to understand that these social and cultural pressures, while powerful, do not have to dictate our choices. This means that while we can't always control the expectations placed upon us, we can control our response to them. In Sarah's case, the first step towards breaking free from these pressures is recognizing their presence and understanding their impact. This awareness is the foundation for change. Sarah begins to realize that her worth isn't solely defined by her career or the approval of others. She starts seeking ways to align her life with her values and passions. This might mean exploring a new career path, setting boundaries at work, or finding fulfillment outside of her job. For many of us, this journey requires immense courage and self-reflection. It involves asking ourselves tough questions. What truly matters to me? Am I living according to my values? Or am I living to meet the expectations of others? These questions help us gain clarity and empower us to make decisions that align with our authentic selves. Moreover, finding support is crucial in this process. Surrounding ourselves with people who understand and respect our journey can make a significant difference. For Sarah, this meant confiding in a trusted friend and seeking guidance from a mentor who encouraged her to pursue her passions. This support system provided her with the strength and confidence to make changes. It's also essential to redefine our concept of success. Success isn't solely about meeting societal standards. It's about finding fulfillment and living a life that resonates with our true selves. By focusing on what brings us joy and satisfaction, rather than external validation, we can begin to dismantle the social and cultural pressures that hold us back. As you reflect on your life, consider the areas where you feel trapped by external expectations. What steps can you take to reclaim your agency and make decisions that serve your well-being? This might involve setting boundaries, seeking support, or redefining your goals. Remember, the journey to freedom and fulfillment is a personal one, and it's okay to prioritize your happiness over societal expectations. In conclusion, social and cultural pressures can be immense, but they don't have to control your life. By recognizing these pressures, seeking support, and aligning your actions with your values, you can break free and live a more fulfilling life. The key is to remember that your worth isn't determined by others' expectations, but by your commitment to living authentically. As you navigate this journey, ask yourself, how can I live a life that is true to me? This question will guide you towards decisions that enhance your well-being and happiness, allowing you to break free from the chains of societal pressure. As we conclude this journey on recognizing when it's time to leave, it's crucial to remember that personal growth and happiness often require making tough decisions. By applying the principles we've discussed today, you can navigate life's challenges with wisdom and resilience, just like the Stoics. Reflect on your current situation and ask yourself, are you truly thriving or merely surviving? Don't be afraid to take that brave step forward if it means aligning your life with your true values and aspirations. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Comment below on how you plan to apply these principles, and don't forget to share this video if you found it helpful. Your journey towards a more fulfilling life starts now. Stay strong and keep moving forward. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video on Stoic in Your Life.